Joining us now is House Impeachment Prosecutor and Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Ridon. Congressman Ridon, welcome again to the program. Thanks for joining us.
Magandang umaga. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita.
Well, Kong, I remember talking to you a week ago and asking you about this, if there will be additional evidence that will be, that the prosecution panel will be presenting. And here you are talking about this. Is this the one that you are saying na tinitignan pa ng prosecution panel? What exactly can you disclose at this stage?
What I can disclose at this stage is today will be the submission of the pretrial brief, no? So hopefully, as soon as it gets submitted to the Senate Impeachment Court, we can already distribute copies to the public and to the media, and probably we would see the document and witness list there, kung saan po nakalagay yung pong ahensya ng pamahalaan, kung saan meron pong pag-aari yung ating pong pangalawang Pangulo na hindi niya po dineklara sa kanya pong salin.
Pero itong properties na to, is this directly under VP Sara's name or linked through her corporation?
Sa ilalim po ng pangalan mismo ng pangalang Pangulo po ito at ng kanya pong asawa, si Ginoong Manasseh Carpio. So, isa po itong pag-aari na nandoon po sa mga regulated na mga tipo ho ng pag-aari. No? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan po talaga naka-register doon sa particular na opisina po ng pamahalaan po na ito.
And what is the estimated value of this supposed undeclared asset sa kanyang salin?
Well, sa milyon-milyon po yung pinagsamang value. No? So, mahalaga po itong piece of evidence po na ito on 3 points. No? Una, syempre yung dami. No? Kasi hindi po ito handful lang, kundi I think more than 30 po yung pinag-usapan po nating pieces of property sa bagay po na ito. Pangalawa, syempre yung value itself. No? So, milyon-milyon po yung pinagsamang value po ng pong mga pag-aari po na ito. At ikatlo, syempre yung tipo ng pong pag-aari. No? So, katulad na binanggit ko, this is a regulated property. No? So, kagimbal-gimbal yung pong fact na ganito po karami yung pag-aari ng pangalawang Pangulo at ng kanya pong asawa.
I was wondering, Kong, how did you guys discover na meron palang undeclared asset itong si Vice President Sara Duterte? Can you walk us through the process? Who discovered it?
Siyempre, nung pong nagpipinal, no? Nung pong kabuuan po ng listahan, nung pong mga witnesses at ng pong mga documents, no? Particular dito po sa pag-aari ng pangalawang Pangulo, ang sabi ho ng isang House Prosecutor, maganda ho siguro magkaroon tayo ng clean sweep, no? Doon sa lahat po ng mga opisina ng pamahalaan na pwedeng magkaroon po ng pag-aari ang ating pong pangalawang Pangulo kung registered ba ang kanyang pangalan sa mga opisina po na ito. And ultimately, we had found out na on this particular class of property, tipo ng pag-aari, meron hong nakalakip po doon yung pong pangalan ng ating pong pangalang Pangulo at ng kanya pong asawa.
Was this discovered accidentally? Or, kasi if the evidence is as strong as you claim, people are also wondering why was it discovered only now? Why was it hindi po pinresent during the hearing sa Justice Committee?
Well, ang totoo naman ho, supplementary lang naman po itong listahan at mga pag-aari po nito. Dahil sa totoo lang, even without this particular class of evidence, okay naman ho kami doon sa opening of the bank accounts, of the MLC reports, no? At yung iba pa hong mga nailatag doon sa House Committee on Justice Proceedings. But again, wala naman din kung nagpipigil, nagbabawal doon po sa kahit kaninong panig, whether sa prosecution or sa defense, na maglatag po ng dagdag na ebidensya during the pretrial stage, no, which will be undertaken this week. More importantly, wala din hong pumipigil sa kahit anumang partido na maglatag din po ng dagdag na ebidensya after the pretrial stage and during trial proper, for as long as pumayag po ang Senate Impeachment Court. And for as long as relevant in material, doon po sa mga gusto ho naming patunayan sa articles of impeachment.
Yeah, because regularly or ordinarily, ang alam lang po namin na dapat mag-present ng evidence before the trial at walang surprise na evidence during the impeachment. Pero as you said, baka pwedeng i-allow nila yun kung sakasakali during the trial itself may lumabas na bagong evidence. Yun po ba yun?
Tama ho yun. So, dalawang bagay, no? Ito po nga linggo na ito, hindi naman ho kailangan halimbawa na hawak na po ng depensa o ng prosecution yung gusto po nilang ilatag na ebidensya. So, ibig sabihin, they will have to make a reservation. Ibig sabihin, they don't have to disclose the name, they don't have to disclose the particular document, but they have to, at the very least, state po ano ho yung purpose, no? Why we would want to present this particular evidence at a future time, no? So, ganun din po yung prinsipyo na susundin pagka trial proper na. So, halimbawa, pagka meron po mabagong discovery lang po mga ebidensya, we will have to seek the approval of the Senate Impeachment Court if it is something that we would want to present during the trial stage itself.
Well, ito po bang bagong evidence na to, Kong, will it be presented to public or sa trial na mismo?
Hopefully naman ho, as soon as we get copies of the actual, for example, report from the government agency, ilalabas po namin po ito sa publiko para makita na rin po natin. But hopefully, pagka naman ho, naisabit na ho namin yung pre-trial briefs, no? Ang expectation ko naman po, it is something that we can readily disclose as soon as it gets submitted to the Senate Impeachment Court today.
Okay. So, the pre-trial brief would be on, kailan po ba?
Today
Kailan
po, ang submission.
Today, di ba?
The 15th, no? Ang submission. Tapos yung pong pre-trial conference, the 18th po ang pagpupulong. So, pupunta po yung depensa, pupunta po yung prosecution, haharap po sa Senate Impeachment Court, Clerk of Court, na para pag-usapan po ito nga, yung listahan po ng mga ebidensya, listahan po ng witnesses, at yung pong sequence ng pong presentation of evidence.
And then how significant is this process in the impeachment trial? Why do we need to go through the pre-trial brief? Just for the information of our viewers.
Mahalaga po itong bahagi nung pong paglilitis ito pong pre-trial conference. Kasi may mga aspeto po dito halimbawa na pwede mong pag-agrihan nung pong dalawang partido. Halimbawa, hindi na kailangan hong magpresenta ng dagdag na ebidensya. So halimbawa, yung ebidensya ng pagiging pangalawang pangulo nung pong ating pong vice president, baka hindi naman ho kailangang patunayan pa yon, di ba? Yun yung mga ganun pong mga pwede yung pag-agrihan nung pong prosecution at ang defense doon po sa bahagi po ng pre-trial conference.
Now, Kong, could this new evidence become the centerpiece of the impeachment trial?
I think the centerpiece would still be the threats against the president and yung pong mga massive total transactions, no? Nung pong mag-asawang Duterte Carpio. But to be clear, katulad ng binanggit ko, yung pong pagkaka-convict, no, kay Chief Justice Renato Corona, nakabatay din po ito doon sa non-disclosure po ng mga pag-aari sa kanya pong SALN. No? So, in the similar vein, malamang ganito din po yung pong magiging effect nito pong bagong discovering ebidensya na ito, lalo tigit mapatunayan na meron nag-exist na mga pag-aari sa mga government databases, pero it was never disclosed, no, in any of the SALNs of the Vice President.
Of the Vice President. Now, Kong, do you need all four of the articles of impeachment to convict or only one is enough?
Siyempre, we would want to be able to present all articles of impeachment and secure a conviction on it, no? Pero to be clear, the prosecution only needs a conviction on one article of impeachment. So halimbawa, kung mapatunayan ho namin yung threats and the Senate judges get convinced, no, to convict the Vice President, she will be removed from office on the basis of one article of impeachment.
Well, right now also pinag-uusapan kung ilan no ang senator or mga senator judges that will be present during the trial. And there are also statements coming from Senator Ping Lacson saying that baka hindi matuloy because if you look at it, there are actually nine senators are going to face no different cases, personal cases of their own. Sinasabi niya baka sakali 15 na lang ang maka-attend ng impeachment trial. So, do you agree on his proposal na even if nakakulong o may kaso yung mga senator na ito, they will be allowed to vote as well?
Well, una, sila ho yung mapagpasya, no, doon po sa how to conduct their affairs, no. So, ibig sabihin, if they would want to seek, for example, Sandigan Bayan approval, para halimbawa payagan po siya Senator Judge Jingo Estrada na mag-participate at makaboto, wala naman ho tayong debate po dito. Again, ang pinaghahandaan pa rin naman pong bilang at boto ng prosecution panel ay 16, no? 16 votes to convict, no? So, however it is that we will reach that number, syempre, nakabatay po ito sa ebidensya pa rin, no? So, kung paano man ho gustong gawin po ng Senado, Senate Impeachment Court yung pong pag-conduct ng kanila pong affairs, sila po yung mapagpasya dyan po sa bagay na yan.
And then, of course, there is debate dun sa number of quorum. Yung nangyari po nung mga nakaraang linggo, nung pagpapalit ng liderato, they, of course, mentioned yung Avellino versus, what's the other one?
Cuenco.
Cuenco, 'di ba? Pero sinasabi nila, that is on the terms of quorum, pero hindi daw po yun po pwede i-apply pagdating sa impeachment. Your thoughts on that?
Wala naman ho tayong debate, no? Yung pong quorum, talagang pwede magbukas ito based on kung paano din ho nila binuksan at sinara yung pong quorum sa plenaryo, no? So, I think ganyan din naman po yung magiging itsura sa pag-convene ng Senate Impeachment Court, no? So, the rules relating to Avellino versus Cuenco will apply on the opening and convening of the Senate Impeachment Court, similar to what had happened in the Senate plenary. But, syempre, ibang bagay ho yung boto talaga. So, katulad naman ho binabanggit niya Senate President pro tempore Sherwin Gatchalian, no? Ang kanila ho tinitignan pa rin naman pong bilang ay 16 na senator judges to convict the Vice President, no? So, sila po yung bahala on these matters, no? Basta as far as we're concerned, 16 votes pa rin po yung pinaghahandaan po namin na makumbinsi to convict the Vice President.
And it wouldn't matter also on your side, on the prosecution side, whoever presides the impeachment trial. Because as we all know, there are reports saying na baka mag-step aside si acting Senate President Win Gatchalian and will let senator lawyers to preside the impeachment trial.
Wala naman ho. So, handa naman po kami humarap whoever the presiding officer will be, whether it's Senate President pro tempore Sherwin Gatchalian or whether the Senate Impeachment Court will appoint an entirely different presiding officer na senator judge. Okay lang din ho yun. Magpapresenta ho kami ng ebidensya ho namin, whoever it may be.
And right now, as you mentioned earlier, former Chief Justice Corona was impeached due to his salin. And right now, isa sa mga articles of impeachment kay Vice President Sara Duterte is about her salin. Do you think kailangan talaga ma-recommend na i-revisit yung guidelines ng pagpa-file ng salin ng mga public officials?
Well, mabigat ho talaga yung bagay po na yan. So, pwede yung pag-aralan talaga. Yung pong salin rules, no? Kasi halimbawa, may debate halimbawa ngayon, pwede bang i-lump into others, yung pong lahat ng ibang mga pag-aari and make an assumption, for example, na lahat ng mga hindi mo nabanggit ay nandoon na. No? So, halimbawa, may debate rin kung dapat ba talaga may cash in hand, cash on bank, no? Na separate line item dyan po sa mga bagay na yan. I think it's something that the House and the Senate should be able to revisit as well para maiwasan din po natin yung iba pang mga pagkalito, no, or pagkakamali or talagang outright na intentional pong hindi pagsasabi ng totoo sa atin pong mga statements, assets, liabilities, net worth statements.
Well, of course, a discrepancy in SALN is one thing. Proving intentional concealment is another thing. So, meron po ba tayong evidence to against VP Sara to make sure that meron pong deliberate na hindi po paglagay doon sa SALN? Because the defense would say na baka may clerical error, hindi nalagay.
Oh, pero it doesn't ask, the SALN law naman po doesn't ask whether it's intentional or not eh. Pagka ho wala doon, di wala ho yun doon. So, I don't think it was ever a debate on whether or not it was intentional. On the case of Chief Justice Corona, whether it's intentional or unintentional. No? So, the fact remains is, for as long as there are particular pieces of property that exist under a person's name, but it was never included in a SALN of a public official, para meron ng pananagutan doon. Irrespective of intention.
Right. Now, people are watching this case closely, and you said the evidence are very strong, but what exactly will convince the public that this is not about politics anymore, no? But the case is built on facts?
Alam po ninyo, mataas po yung support for the impeachment proceedings. I've seen several surveys already. And most importantly, irrespective of where they stand in political lines, no? I think they would want to be able to see the impeachment trial proceed, no? So that is what we want to do. And irrespective of whether the Vice President gets convicted or not, I think ang mahalaga po talaga dito, yung pagdaanan po natin, ito pong proseso ng pananagutan.
And of course, what other preparations is the prosecution panel is doing in light of this impeachment trial?
Tuloy-tuloy po yung mga mock trials po namin on each and every article of impeachment, no? So, up until the 6th of July, tuloy-tuloy lang po ito kasi katulad na nabanggit na po ng mga ibang prosecutors po natin, may at least 25 witnesses, no? So, I think yung po mock trial of each and every witness, dapat magawa po namin yan so that we can actually anticipate yung po lahat ng mga pwede maging tanong ng depensa at yung lahat po ng mga clarificatory questions na pwede po sabihin ng atin po ng mga senator judges.
And then, aside from documentations of this evidence that you're going to present in the pre-trial and trial itself, are there also several personalities should we expect na mag-testify against the Vice President?
Well, isa siyempre dun sa, I think, most certain na po na isasalang, siyempre si former Senator Sonny Trillanes, no? He will basically reiterate the testimony that he had stated in the House Justice Committee proceeding. So, he will state it again. And kung meron pa mga dagdag po mga detalye at ebidensya, he will state it during the trial itself.
And overall, you guys are ready na rin come pre-trial and of course sa trial itself?
Tama
Sino
ho.
po, paano po ba yung yung hatian? Kasi kayo pong mga prosecution sa panel, may kanya-kanya po kayong assignment sa impeachment, articles of impeachment, 'di ba? So, paano po ba yung ano yung unang ipe-present?
Siyempre sa pre-trial conference, no, si lead prosecutor, Congresswoman Jervil Luistro, yung po mainly magpe-present po doon po sa pre-trial conference. Pero handa naman po yung mga lead on the specific articles of impeachment, no, to make the presentation. So for example, handa rin po kami for unexplained wealth, no, to make the presentation during the pre-trial conference and the other leads, no, on each and every article of impeachment.
Okay, on the issue of expenses, of course, alam po namin yung gagastusin sa Senate, milyon po ang nakalaan na pondo doon. Pero pagdating po ba dito sa prosecution panel, while you guys are preparing, meron din po bang budget na nakapaloob dito?
Nakalaka pa rin po yan doon sa House budget naman po, no? So, ibig sabihin, ang ginagamit po nga pondo, for example, para dun sa paghahanda, no? Kasi sa loob naman po ng House ginagawa yung mga paghahanda po namin, ano? So, yung pondo pa rin po, working budget, operating budget pa rin po ng House of Representatives, yung ginagamit po para dito.
All right, we will continue to get in touch with you regarding this issue. But for the meantime, thank you so much, Bicol Sara Party List Representative Terry Riton.
Maraming salamat. Good morning.